A new BMW i4 starts at $58,000 and doesn't come with a front trunk. An $87,000 iX doesn't come with a spare tire. And BMW tried to charge you monthly to turn on heated seats already installed in your car. Here are 9 features BMW has quietly removed from their EVs, while charging you more than ever. 1. BMW's $58,000 EV has no front trunk. The i4 has no front trunk. None. Open the hood and you'll see motor electronics and powertrain hardware, packed into the space where a frunk should be. BMW's explanation is that the i4 shares its platform with the gas-powered 4 Series, so engineering a frunk wasn't a priority. Here's the problem with that excuse. The Polestar 2 rides on a platform shared with combustion cars, and Polestar engineered a small frunk into it anyway. It's not enormous, but it holds your charging cables and keeps them out of the main trunk. BMW had the same constraint and chose not to bother. The i4 buyer pays around $58,000 to start and gets nothing under the hood but a plastic cover. The bigger story is the iX. That car is built on a dedicated EV architecture with no combustion engine to package around, and it starts at over $87,000. It still has no frunk. Compare that to a Tesla Model Y at half the price. Usable frunk. A Hyundai Ioniq 5 frunk. A Lucid Gravity, one of the largest frunks on the market. Every single trip, iX owners pile charging cables on top of luggage in the rear cargo area because there's nowhere else for them to go. It's the kind of small daily annoyance owners don't think about on the test drive and then live with for the next 5 years. 2. BMW just killed the tech you paid thousands for. If you spent extra for gesture control on your BMW, you're now driving a car with technology BMW has publicly declared obsolete. At CES in early 2025, BMW confirmed gesture control is being killed entirely, with the new iDrive X system arriving on the Neue Klasse cars, starting with the second-generation iX3. Gesture control was never a cheap ad. It came bundled inside trim upgrades and tech packages that ran into the thousands of dollars depending on the model. Owners paid for it as part of the premium experience BMW was selling. Now BMW's official line is that voice control has improved enough to make gestures redundant, which sounds reasonable until you remember they were charging thousands for the feature right up until they decided to abandon it. Here's where it hits owners. Resale value. Buyers shopping used iXs in 2 years won't see gesture control as a selling point. They'll see it as a reminder that the car's tech is a generation behind. The hardware in your car still works. The feature just carries zero value to the next buyer. This is the pattern that catches a lot of BMW owners off guard, paying for features that quietly become liabilities. And if you want the full breakdown on what to actually check before buying any EV, I've put together a complete guide covering everything you need to know. Links in the description. 3. Every new BMW EV ships without a spare tire. If you buy a 2025 i4, iX, i5, or i7 in the United States, you do not get a spare tire. Not a full size, not a space saver, nothing. You get a can of sealant and a small compressor in a foam tray. Starting with model year 2025, BMW North America confirms spare tires are no longer available. Not as standard, not as an option, on most of the lineup. On the i5, you can pay $150 for a space saver as code 300. On the i4 and iX, it isn't even on the order sheet. Here's why this matters more on an EV. A base iX weighs over 5,600 pounds, the M60 over 5,800, and the i7 is heavier still. That extra weight puts more stress on tires than an equivalent gas car, making sidewall damage more likely, not less. BMW deleted the backup on the cars that need it most. The mobility kit only works for small punctures in the tread, sidewall damage, or a blowout. Sealant won't help. Picture driving home at night, hitting a pothole, and shredding a sidewall 40 miles from the nearest tire shop. You're calling a tow truck and sleeping in a hotel. And the well still exists. The cars were originally engineered to hold a spare. BMW just stopped putting one in. Owners are now piecing together kits using European part numbers, with the wheel alone running around $400 from German suppliers. Compare that to a Genesis GV60, Hyundai Ioniq 5, Lucid Air, or Rivian R1S. All include a space saver as standard. BMW saves $80 to $100 per car by deleting it. On an iX M60 that cost over $111,000, that's less than 0.1% of the price. That's what your safety margin is worth to them. But it's your problem on the side of the highway, not theirs. 4. Real leather is now. A $1,450 upgrade. A decade ago, real leather was standard on premium BMWs. On a 2025 i4 eDrive 40, real leather costs $1,450 extra. The standard upholstery is now Sensitech, BMW's word for synthetic, on a car that starts north of $58,000. BMW took what used to come with the car, started charging for it, and repositioned the cheaper replacement as the baseline. There's also a resale angle. Synthetic upholstery is fine when the car is new, but it doesn't age like real leather. After 5 to 7 years, Sensitech tends to crack and peel, particularly on driver's seat bolsters that take daily wear. Real leather develops patina. Used car shoppers know the difference, and it shows up in resale value. It gets worse on certain configurations. On some i4 trims, ventilated seats are only available bundled with the Vernasca leather upgrade. So you're not just paying $1,450 for leather, you're forced into a leather package to access seat ventilation at all. The features are tied together so you can't unbundle them. A Genesis GV60 includes leather as standard on its advanced trim and Napa leather as standard on its performance trim. A Lucid Air Pure includes real leather at a starting price that undercuts a comparable i4. The lower-priced competitors are including premium materials BMW now treats as upgrades. 5. BMW charged $80 a year for Apple CarPlay. BMW once charged a $300 one-time fee to activate Apple CarPlay. Then they switched to an $80 annual subscription, software that was already built into the car, software every other major automaker was giving away for free. Honda, Toyota, Hyundai, Kia, Ford, all standard. Toyota was including it on their entry-level cars. BMW alone treated CarPlay as premium connectivity. After years of customer backlash and press coverage, BMW reversed course and made CarPlay standard. But the reversal isn't the story. BMW didn't have a change of heart. They got caught. They had openly tested the idea that built-in software could be a recurring revenue stream. And the only reason they walked it back was that owners revolted publicly enough to force the issue. That matters now because BMW has openly stated they're shifting subscription efforts to driver assistance and parking features. The CarPlay reversal wasn't a retreat. It was a tactical pause on one feature that generated too much bad press. If you're buying a new BMW EV today, every software-gated feature is fair game for future monetization. The hardware is in there. The question is whether BMW eventually decides you should pay monthly to use it. 6. They tried to make you pay monthly for heated seats. This is the play in action. In 2022, BMW started charging $18 a month to turn on heated seats in cars where the hardware was already installed at the factory. Every seat heater coil, every wiring harness, every connection paid for when the customer bought the car. BMW just refused to let you use them unless you signed up for a subscription. The rates ran roughly $18 per month, $180 per year, or around $415 for a 3-year unlock. The program rolled out in the UK, Germany, South Korea, and Australia. Heated steering wheels, the drive recorder, and high beam assist were on the same menu. In Australia, the heated steering wheel went up to $349 for unlimited use. BMW killed the heated seat subscription in late 2023, but only after a year of brutal press coverage and customer backlash. Same pattern as CarPlay. The program would have continued indefinitely if owners hadn't pushed back hard enough to make it politically painful. And BMW has openly stated they're now focusing subscriptions on driver assistance and parking features instead. The model isn't dead. It just moved. This matters more on an EV than on a gas car. Cabin heating is the single biggest range killer in cold weather. Running the main heater can drop EV range by 30% or more. Heated seats let you stay warm without firing up the cabin heater, which is why they're not a luxury on an EV. They're a range preservation tool. Charging monthly for that on a $70,000 electric car is the kind of decision that tells you exactly how BMW sees its customers. Meanwhile, a Kia EV6 or Hyundai Ioniq 6 includes heated front seats as standard on most trims. No subscription, no package, no upcharge. 7. The convenience package vanished, and prices went up. A 2025 BMW i4 eDrive 40 starts at around $58,000. To get it equipped with adaptive cruise control, a feature that's standard on a Tesla Model 3 starting under $40,000. You need to add the premium package. Depending on the model, That bundle runs $1,150 to $4,200, and it's where BMW now stuffs adaptive cruise, the head-up display, surround view cameras, and the heated steering wheel. BMW's 2025 reshuffle was sold as a win for customers. The convenience package was discontinued, and heated front seats and wireless charging became standard. Genuine improvements. But what BMW didn't advertise is that lumbar support got pulled out of the bundle and is now harder to add on certain configurations. And the bigger ticket items got consolidated into the more expensive premium package. The features that mattered most didn't become standard. They became standard priced. The real test of any modern car's value is what it includes for the asking price. A 2025 Polestar 2 includes adaptive cruise control as standard. A Tesla Model 3 includes basic autopilot at no charge. A Hyundai Ioniq 6 includes lane keeping and adaptive cruise in the base trim. BMW makes you pay $2,000 to $3,000 in packages to match what the rest of the EV market now treats as table stakes, on a car that already starts nearly $20,000 higher. 8. Climate controls are buried in a touchscreen. Open a 2018 BMW, and you'll find physical climate buttons, a temperature dial, and dedicated controls for heated seats and defrosters. Open a 2025 i4 or iX, and most of those controls have migrated into the touchscreen. Temperature can still be adjusted with a physical strip on some models, but seat heating, ventilation, fan speed, and airflow direction now require diving into a menu. This is a safety problem, not a styling one. A 2022 study by Swedish magazine V Belägare tested how long common tasks took in cars with physical buttons versus touchscreen-only interfaces. The worst-performing touchscreen car took roughly 4 times longer to complete the same set of tasks as the best-performing car with physical buttons. The BMW iX was one of the cars tested, and it didn't perform well. In the slowest-performing car, the driver traveled over half a mile down the road before completing tasks that took 10 seconds in a button-equipped car. BMW saves money on switches, harnesses, and assembly time. You get a more distracting cabin. This hits EV drivers harder than gas car drivers. EVs depend on climate adjustments for range, preconditioning the cabin, lowering cabin heat to preserve battery, toggling seat warmers instead of cabin heat. EV drivers fiddle with these settings far more often than someone in a gas car. BMW just made every one of those interactions take longer and demand more eyes off the road. Hyundai actually walked this back. After customer complaints, the Ioniq 5N and refreshed Ioniq 6 brought physical climate buttons back, with the company publicly citing buyer feedback as the reason. Mazda never removed them. BMW doubled down. 9. The home charger BMW forgot to include. Spending $87,000 on a BMW iX doesn't include the equipment you need to charge it properly at home. Every BMW EV in the US ships with a flexible fast charger, but plug it into a standard 120-volt outlet and it adds roughly 3 to 4 miles of range per hour. Fully charging a depleted iX from a household outlet takes around 4 days of continuous charging. For daily driving, it's not a real solution. To actually charge overnight, you need a level 2 wall box. BMW sells their own unit for $800 to $1,200, depending on the model, before installation. Installation by a certified electrician through their QMerit Partner program adds another $1,500 to $3,000, depending on your home's electrical setup. The total bill to charge your new BMW EV at home: $3,000 to $4,000 on top of the car. Compare that to today's competition. Lucid includes a mobile charger with the Air that can charge at level 2 speeds, up to 9.6 kilowatts on a 240-volt outlet out of the box. That's roughly 3 times faster than BMW's included unit on the same outlet. Genesis, Hyundai, and Kia all include similar level 2 capable mobile chargers in the box as standard. BMW chose to unbundle real home charging entirely. It's the perfect ending to this list because it captures everything else in one decision. The hardware costs BMW pennies. The competition includes it. BMW decided you should pay extra on top of a car that already costs more than most of them. What you can actually do about it: the single most useful thing you can do before signing for a BMW EV is this: build the car you actually want on BMW's configurator, write down the total, then build the equivalent Genesis, Hyundai, Lucid, or Polestar with the same equipment level. Compare the out-the-door numbers. The gap will surprise you. And once you've seen it, the BMW order sheet is hard to look at the same way again. None of this means BMWs are bad cars. They're still some of the best driving EVs on the road, but you're paying a premium for the badge on the hood, not for what's inside the car. Once you've priced the alternatives honestly, the decision becomes yours to make with your eyes open. If you've owned a BMW EV and found a feature missing you expected to be standard, drop it in the comments. Other buyers benefit from knowing what to ask about before they sign. And if this video helped, hit the like button and subscribe for more honest EV buying advice. And one more time, if you want the full breakdown on what to check before buying any EV, the complete guide is linked in the description.